Okay, so welcome to our workshop, How to Talk to Migrant Workers. So, okay, I'll screen my slides first. So I want to start with hearing from y'all first. So how has it been talking to migrant workers? Do y'all face any difficulties in terms of language or cultural barriers?
I think the most I think communicating with them has been okay so far. Perhaps the most difficult part would be the language barrier because we understand that at times the migrant workers will not be that well versed in English. So we have to make some compromises. Maybe we can communicate in more simpler terms, more layman terms. However, we that's like the biggest difficulty we face when we communicate with the migrant workers. But other than that, I think it's been quite smooth working with them as well. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, my experience is similar. So during our first session, right, when sometimes we have conversations with migrant workers, I think it's also because of the accent that we speak in differ a lot. So sometimes it might be difficult to comprehend what they're saying. And also sometimes migrant workers couldn't really understand what we were asking for also. It creates, I wouldn't say that it's bad. I feel like we had a lot of fun trying to like understand each other, but it kind of delays like communication wise.
yeah, okay, understand. Okay, so I'm glad that you guys are here today then, because that's exactly the questions that we're gonna address in this workshop. So, okay, I will start with my slide. Okay, so how do you communicate yourself very well to migrant workers? So actually, you guys can start with having hand gestures while speaking. For example, like when you want to say something, just make them visualize it. Okay, so for example, when I was presenting my project to migrant workers, which is bring Singaporeans and migrant musicians together, I just do this, like migrant workers, Singaporeans together. So like they can kind of like see the image of the meaning I'm trying to say. So that really helps. And secondly, try to speak in easy language in broken English. That means only saying the keywords. So for example, if you want to say do you how's your hometown? If they seriously cannot understand that, simply just say your village nice, your village good. Yeah, like just break it into words, like keywords that they can understand. And lastly, when you guys talk, right, like please don't say like conjunctions like meanwhile, alternatively. Just keep it to simple sentences, subject, verb, object. And yeah, I guess that's quite straightforward. So if they seriously cannot understand at all, even after you guys tried these, just either try to repeat or slow down. Because the speed I'm speaking right now is definitely not a speed that they can understand. So you have to pause and slow down and check whether they understand every time you speak.
Yeah, and I think one more thing that I would like to add is that make sure to also bring this into your texting language in group chats because I've seen you guys use words like ASAP, wanna, and they all don't understand how this kind of texting language works. So don't try to write like very long messages and also try to break it down. It's easier for them to understand. Yeah.
Yeah. And then also always try to describe stuff, explain stuff. So even if you just saying a concept like um like a chord, for example, a music chord. Try to explain what that is, describe how it is, so they understand what you're saying. Because some technical terms may be hard for them to understand. Okay, so the purpose of this workshop, right? It's not just for y'all to have a smooth communication during the competition and for the competition. It is also important that in the future, when you guys talk to migrant workers, we want you guys to be able to talk to them and have a nice discussion conversation with them. Yeah, so that's called like sustainable advocacy. So here are some tips of how you can open up with migrant workers and like some topics you guys can start with. So they're pretty interested in food, daily routine, family, how they're Bangladesh, COVID, but also be careful of some sensitive topics like religion. It is important to be like casual and informal, especially if you're doing it online. So if I speak like this, it sounds very formal that you can't see like my movements. So just try to like lean back and put your hands into like the video box, and then it's kind of like informal and casual. Do you have any questions so far?
No.
Yeah, no.
Oh, okay, great. So it is also very useful to like learn some basic words in Bangladesh. So when you guys approach them, you can start with Bangla first instead of English. So you can start with maybe, how are you? Apni kama nache. Do you guys want me to teach y'all these here, or you can go Google Translate yourself?
Teach us.
Teach you? Okay, how are you is Apni kama nache. Wait, sorry, just
One thing I would like to say is that you don't have to limit this to during our sessions or during our group chat texting. Even when you're walking down the road and you see migrant workers walking under the hot sun, you can say hi to them in their Bangla language. It'll be really like heartwarming for them. Yeah. Random acts of kindness you can do.
yeah. Okay, so how are you is Apni kama nache, and then thank you is hunubat. And so yeah, just I mean I wrote down like the English pronunciation there, so you guys can like try it out. Yeah. Wait, Roy, you're muted. You were saying?
Oh no, I was just trying out the words. Sorry.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, it'll be quite fun to talk to them in Bangla also. Okay, so so this is like for the next session, also for future, when you guys have discussions. So some general tips of like how to conduct an engaging discussion. So there's 3 core questions you guys can ask. Firstly, what, why, and how. So whenever they speak, try to ask these questions to show interest and prompt them further. Yeah, and then the first step after they share something is to recognize it, like to acknowledge it. So if they have an opinion, you can be like, yes, I agree with it, and I think that's a great idea, and show interest by asking more about it. For example, like, oh, so what exactly is this concept you're talking about? How you're planning to do it? Yeah, so that's like asking further into the details.
Wait, but if I want to ask the details, right, and then I still have to be like my sentence structure still needs to be simplified. Like how?
Like how? Okay, how about you try to say something that I'll try to like prompt you. Then I'll demonstrate how.
Okay, then I'll just talk about like our project on migrant workers.
Okay.
So when would you be no. So how would you split the vocal parts between the 2 of you? Because we have 2 migrant workers and then both of them, I think they're trying to do voice. So
okay, you mean how? Okay, so I will prompt you on that idea now, right?
okay, yeah, sure.
Okay. I think that's a great idea that we should split the vocal parts. So there's 1 minute. So you want to 15 seconds, or 10 seconds, 10 seconds. Like,
So like,
yeah, like the keywords only, and then try to ask for details. And then maybe you can, for how, you can also ask like, so you're going to overlap videos, put videos together, or sing one by one, and then try to use hand gestures one by one, put together.
also if I want to say, do you want to have like an audio overlay, then just like you want to sing, record, then you put everything together like that.
Yeah, nice.
Okay.
And then you can put the hand to sing. Yeah.
Slow it down, Serene.
Yeah, like when you speak, you can try to slow down your pace as well to like just now I was saying. So that
For a moment, I was so shocked because I couldn't see the 5th person. I was just like, wait, there's someone else speaking.
Okay. Okay, so the last slide I have is for the worst case scenario in case you guys get into like a conflict with migrant worker, which is actually possible because sometimes when communication breaks down, you guys get frustrated, and then there can also be miscommunication, and then that causes conflict. So it's very important to firstly understand where everyone's coming from. So explain the perspective and see like the value of that perspective. And then you should say things like, oh, I agree with you where you're coming from. I think that's valid, blah blah blah. But then, right, please don't go into the but section first. So hold that back and then move on to asking everyone to take a break, like pause, and to ensure that everyone's on the same page and understand like what's going on, and that they're calmed down, like they're not frustrated. And so you guys can try also to like reiterate the purpose of this competition, to have fun, to enjoy music, and tell everyone to like stop arguing. And then when everyone's like calmed down and then everyone has an open mind, then you guys can start analyzing the situation. That's where the but comes in. So you can like try to talk about opinions again and make a compromise. So final tip is just to be always cheerful, smile, and like be more engaging on the video. Yeah. Yeah, this is what I was saying, describe the ideas. So do you have any questions for the end?
No.
Okay, do y'all think this helped your question, help like your concerns?
Yeah, I think it's quite effective. Like the methods of prompting a discussion. Yeah, I think it's like really good because especially because when we talk with migrant workers, you might not know what they're interested in and how to continue a conversation with him. I think this presentation really covered like a huge chunk of it, and yeah, really grateful for it. Yeah.
I think it's more of like it made me realize what boils down to language barriers. Because at first I thought it was more like I couldn't listen to I couldn't really comprehend what they were saying. But sometimes when we are trying to speak to them, right, they might necessarily understand what we are saying also. So I guess the tips covered inside do help us to like change from like our perspective as a native speaker to someone who's like taking English as like their second language. Yeah.
I'm so glad that it helped you guys. For the point that you mentioned about how you find it hard to comprehend them, actually I have some tips as well. So when they speak, I understand like the accent is a bit hard to understand, but then just try to capture like keywords. For example, if they're talking about their home and then they said something about like children, school, or village, and then yeah, just try to understand the keywords and then try to ask them about it if you really don't get it. Like just ask, so you mentioned village, so your village good, your village nice, how old is your children, like stuff like that. Like actually happened to me at first when we were talking about like what time they can make it for competition. So they were trying to say like on Sunday they had a concert so they can't come. Then I couldn't understand what they're saying. So I only heard keywords like concert, Sunday, and cannot come. So I tried to ask like, oh wait, I didn't even hear concert. I just heard Sunday cannot come. So I was like, oh, so Sunday, what do you have on Sunday? And he's like, oh, concert. Then I got it. Oh, so Sunday concert cannot come. So try to like ask the questions about what keywords you hear. Always try to clarify and ask them in simple words. Like segment an issue into different parts and then ask about those parts. Yeah.
I understand the previous session was kind of new to you guys, and even the texting and everything was pretty new. So hopefully after this, we can see more active participation in the group chat, and hopefully you guys will ask more questions in the next session. I think the migrant workers are very enthusiastic to answer your questions about their life in Bangladesh and everything. Yeah. So just take the first step and ask them questions.
Okay.
It's quite informative lah. Thank you.
Type in simple words, please. They really don't understand what you guys are talking about previously. And
Sorry?
no, you guys should type in simpler words like what Madhulika said. And also since even though the next Zoom session is postponed for another 2 weeks, right? During this period of time, you guys should still actively contribute to the idea. Like the song that you guys are going to make instead of like taking a break for granted.
Yeah, okay.
Any
So
last questions before we?
yeah, okay. So I'm really glad that you guys are here, and I hope you guys learn stuff from the workshop. And like even after this competition, I hope that all of y'all will take the initiative to just strike a conversation with migrant workers on the road. That's where inclusivity comes from. And I hope like we really empower you in doing so today. Yeah. Okay, so that's all from us today. So yeah, if you don't have anything else, you can leave the call. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
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 I feel like Serene has good questions. Do you have nothing else to ask?
I have good questions.
Yeah.
No, I don't.